Hi there. Welcome to A Kid's Point of View #1. This is our very first video in the series, and today we're going to be talking about quarantine life in 2020 from the point of a child. Well, actually, it's my daughter, and she's 11 and a half.
Hello.
So we're just going to have a candid conversation of something that we experienced last night that finally came out. After, has it been 3 months of quarantine?
I think about
March, April, May. Oh, we're almost 4 months into this whole situation.
Wow.
Okay, and you've been out of school since March.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what prompted us to do this is that I was upstairs last night, and all of a sudden I heard you crying and being very upset, and I didn't even know what was going on. I thought maybe you hurt yourself. And when I came downstairs, you were really upset about something that was going on with a friend. And little did we know that really the situation that had gone down with the friend really wasn't the entire problem for you being upset.
Yes.
We decided to sit on the couch, and you were going to tell me all about what was going on with you on the inside.
Yeah.
And you grabbed the little garbage from your bathroom and your box of Kleenex or box of tissues.
Yeah.
And then we just sat on the couch, and you said how stressful it's been.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's been very stressful through this time. Because you don't have much of a chance to have freedom as a kid. Because most parents think, oh, it's a kid. They always get to do whatever they want. They don't have to worry about adult stuff. But we do have to worry about many stuff. We have friends too, and they mean the life to us.
And you haven't been able to play with your friends?
No, not at all.
Since March, right? And we're now in almost the end of June.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been months. How, and that's been weighing on you?
Yeah, it's been pretty hard because I was just keeping how I feel trapped inside of me when the best thing to do is let it all out.
Yeah, so everything kind of came to a head last night, right?
Yeah.
When you were kind of being upset about something that was going on with one of your friends, and that kind of just unleashed the fury of the last 3.5, almost 4 months of everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
So has staying inside been easy for you as a kid?
Definitely not, because as a kid, all you want to do is get outside and play with your friends and just do what you want to do. But it's hard to do that when you're trapped inside of a house and only being able to talk to a friend by call.
Yeah, and you've been able to play with them on Roblox and the computers and stuff like that?
Yes, and video games.
Right.
That's
Which,
really it.
when I was a kid, we wouldn't have had that opportunity. So in my mind as a parent, I've been thinking for the last few months with you that, well, it would have been way worse in my time growing up, since we didn't have computers and cell phones and all that kind of stuff. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, well, they don't have it so bad to deal with this quarantine because they can play with their friends on the computer and do FaceTime and still see them, over electronics and stuff like that. So I had no clue how imprisoned you've been feeling, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't make it any better when you're also having to deal with losing a friend and other stuff.
Yeah. So what we experienced last night, the tears were coming, and I had you, well, you were just starting to spout off all sorts of things that had been, bothering you or kind of weighing on you that you have been holding in for months. And I told you to go get a notebook and start making a list of all the things that were bothering you. So did you find that easy to just start writing everything down?
Yes, it was pretty easy because everything was just flooding out of my brain of things that were causing stress from these past months.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to go into what that list was because that's personal,
Yes.
and then what you actually found. So you made that list on your phone, and then you actually found another time, a few months ago, you wrote something else. You wrote out some paragraphs of another time where something was bothering you, and I told you to go write it down. And so when you read that, what did you realize when you read that?
Well,
You had questions about
Yeah.
that former situation, right? That you
Yeah.
didn't know the answers to?
I didn't know the answers to some questions that I recently know, and I'm not going to tell all the questions, but just one of them was, is it okay to keep your emotions trapped inside of you? Which now I know definitely it's not okay, because it's hard to find happiness through all the struggles if you don't let those struggles go.
Yeah, if you don't let out what's bothering you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you, why do you think that you weren't able to let those emotions out? Was it because you didn't know how, or didn't know that you needed to, or it just kind of day after day just didn't seem to pop in your head to maybe talk about all that stuff? You wanted to just kind of push it down?
Well, day after day, everything that would happen, it would just be stored back in my brain, and once another little struggle happened, I would think about all the other things, and I wouldn't feel really good, and then it would just get stuck back in my brain again, and I wouldn't think about it until another thing happened, until last night, where it was just I needed just one more thing for everything to start flooding out, which I'm not glad for what happened, but I am glad that it got me to let out all my emotions that I've been keeping in for the past few months of quarantine.
Yeah, I remember you saying last night that as you were wiping your tears away, as you were talking and blowing your nose, you kept saying, I'm starting to feel better. This feels really good. And I said, just keep going. Just keep letting it out. Just let it out. And then, so you wrote your list, and you realized that former letter that you had written down, kind of like a journal entry, you realized that all the questions you had from that other struggle moment in the past couple of months, that those questions had all been answered. And you realize, oh yeah, it did help to write all that stuff down.
Yeah.
To get out in what was swirling around in your head, to kind of write it down on paper, or, you wrote it in your phone in the notes section. And so this new list that you came up with last night of the things that were bothering you, when you wrote that all down last night, you had stuff that you said about each of those things that were bothering you. Do you feel better about those things today, once you got up in the morning after having a good night's sleep?
Once I got up in the morning, I felt like a new person after letting all my emotions out and letting them go.
Yeah.
Realizing that it's okay to have struggles, but all you need to do with those struggles is let them just flow out.
Yeah. And I gave you a safe place to do that because I wasn't trying to give you solutions or to, tell you that you're just a kid and you shouldn't be feeling like this. I just was able to give you a nice safe place where you can just express yourself freely, right?
Yeah. And solutions are good, but when there's a solution to something that might fix that thing, causes something else to go wrong. And then to make a solution to that will just cause more problems, and then solution, then more problems, which just letting it go is better than trying to find a solution.
Yeah, because you just needed to let those built up emotions out, right?
Yeah.
And then we decided to do a trapped emotion release.
Yes.
For the past 4 months, which is something that I do. I am a Certified Emotion Code Practitioner. So I am able to find out through an energy reading what trapped emotions that you had. You had 4 of them. We're not really going to talk about those emotions specifically, but we had 4 that completely related to the past 4 months and that were built up emotions that were weighing heavy on you that you probably had no clue that those things were really happening. But once I was able to uncover which emotions had been trapped in causing kind of, some mental upset and you feeling emotional, once we released those, you started giggling like crazy, huh?
Yeah.
It felt so good.
Yeah, it felt really good to get them out because, I don't know, it was just really fun to get them out. Just the process of letting them go and breathing and
Yeah.
the rolly thing.
Yep, the rolly thing that we do. It's a rolling magnet that I have, and I roll that down the back, and we do kind of a little ceremony thing where we released all the emotions that had accrued and had been stuck and causing upset for the past 4 months. And now those are gone, and you had a wonderful night's sleep.
Yeah.
And you felt way better this morning.
Yes.
And you had a great day today.
Yes, a very good day.
Yeah. So now it's going to be a little bit easier for the time being to handle the rest of the quarantine time and the, slowly getting back into being able to do some more regular things again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be really excited for that to start happening.
Yeah, me too. So we just wanted to take a kid's view and share this with you that even though kids don't have to pay bills and worry about jobs and all that kind of stuff, they still have very, very heavy things that weigh on their hearts and their minds. And we want to just let all the parents know out there that if you can give your daughter or son a safe place to express themselves and just allow them to be open without giving any kind of response or solution or telling them how hard adulthood is and they should be lucky to be a kid. It's just giving them an open opportunity to share. And that's really what's been working for us with all our deep conversations over the past few years. We've been able to get closer because I give you an opportunity to share what's going on with you and don't shut you down and don't, take a phone call in between your talks, or I just let you tell me what's going on with you and usually ask you how you feel about what's going on. And then we take it from there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you feel safe talking to me?
Yes.
Good. Now, if we can only encourage other parents to do the same thing with their children, then we can create better relationships and safer places for children to be in their homes and to share things that are going on that are that are causing them to feel all sorts of different ways, from sad or angry or depressed, or, I mean, the list just goes on of all sorts of types of things that we can all feel. So thank you for taking this short time to listen to us. And we just want to give you a kid's point of view. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.
Bye.